Hello, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. Welcome to Mysteries of Zoryce Academy. I am your intrepid storyteller for this campaign. I am Rachel, aka the Peacock Vampire. Couple bits of housekeeping before we start on this magical adventure. First question, where's Adam? Well, he is doing the kindness of being behind the scenes running tech for me because don't let me do it. I am IRL La Sombra. I will break it. So he's doing me the kindness of doing it for me. It's why we look good. It's why we sound good. Secondly, what is Kids on Brooms? Well, Kids on Brooms is a rules-light, narrative-heavy rule set for magic school. So each of our characters have 6 stats: fight, flight, brains, brawn, grit, and charm. And each of those stats has a corresponding die. One of the dice from the polyhedral dice set, except for the percentile, because no one likes that one. Yeah. So how do these traits get assigned to their dice? The Trope Mechanic. You can technically build your character from the ground up, but for new players, I personally recommend going on tropes. There will be some magic involved because sorcery school. But we're going to get into that later. Right now, we're starting our story with introductions. So we will have Ty go first. Ty, if you could introduce your character, the trope you use to build your character, and anything you want to plug.
All right. Hello, my name is Ty. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at HeyTylerGray. My character's name is Avery Rhodes. Avery uses the trope haughty descendant. I actually don't have the readout for that. I'm so sorry.
It's totally fine. As we go on, I can essentially say, hey, let our audience know what dice you're rolling for insert stat here, just so they can kind of learn along with you guys. Rin, you next.
I'm Catherine. You can find me on Instagram at smallfry. I'm going to be playing Lemon Weatherbottom. I am the offbeat eccentric, and I'm super excited to be starting this game. And then, sorry, I'm just like so giddy. And then you can find me tomorrow on Vancouver by Night for a completely different game that's very horror themed, Skin Deep. So,
yes, we've got some spookiness in this campaign, but it's definitely not on the level of what Alex is doing.
It's so exciting.
And we also have Allie. Before you start,
Hello.
At the end of Sinners and Saints, when Catherine and I were saying, hey, we have a storyteller that we love that torments us in the best way possible, that's Allie.
Hello.
Turn now.
Yes, so my name is Allie. You can find me on Instagram at the Creepy Plant Lady 94. There's underscores in there. I believe it's on the screen somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I am playing the Haunted Survivor, and that essential trope is some things happened and we're going to find out because I don't like giving away secrets. Other than that, you can also, find me on Facebook if you would like to do that. Don't know why you would, but there you go.
Did you say your character's name? I don't recall if you did.
Yes, you're right. My character's name is Lucen Santosa. And that's a little bit of a bow to some of my more favorite horror themes.
Which I love.
I'm very excited for this. I'm excited.
I'm excited to take you all on this journey. In fact, we can start right now. So we start our story in the Appalachian Mountains. It's summertime. And there are families and friends and couples hiking through the forest. The lakes are filled with people swimming and boating. Summer camps are in full swing, and the kids there are screaming and having fun, going down zip lines or having food fights or whatever they want to do. But there's a pocket of the forest that's quiet. And hikers don't really seem to go there. It doesn't seem interesting to them. So they decide, oh, this path looks a lot nicer. Let's go that way. But if you were to go to the section of that quiet forest and you were to walk into it, you'd pass through this almost iridescent force field. It doesn't necessarily keep you out unless you meant to cause harm to the people in there. It's just more of think of it as a fence around a school, because schools have a duty of care to their students. So you pass through this force field, and strangely, almost as if by magic, it's bigger on the inside than what it should be. And you are on the grounds of Zoryce Academy of Sorcery. Now, Zoryce has its own lake, shimmering and beautiful, with a boathouse that upper-class students could rent a boat from if they so choose. There's the Hedge Maze, complicated and large, and at the very center is the statue of the school's founder, Hortensia Zoryce. There is the wide and expansive greenhouse for your herbology classroom or classes, and also to get ingredients for potions, because that's kind of a necessary thing. And then there's the transportation depot. Now, America is huge, and you have to get students to school one way or another, and trains aren't really the best idea for the continental US. So American sorcerers created a brand new system of teleportation, kind of like a magical bus depot where you are in one place at one moment and then boom, you're in the next. As students of Zoryce Academy, you know that in your first 4 years, you have the option to be a weekly boarder, so you go home on the weekends, or a semester boarder, so you just go home at the end of the term. But in years 1 and 2, because those are 11 and 12-year-olds, they also have the option of being day schoolers and just going to the transportation depot, going to their home after school. As upperclassmen, you, however, can only be semester or academic boarders. So choose which one you want to be right now, because you're just learning this. And then we have the estate home, once belonging to Hortensia Zoryce, now a school. And in front of it is the gorgeous 5-pointed fountain, and each point bearing the mascot of one of the houses of this school. You have the green and tan alligator of House Basilar, the blue and silver wolf of House Chimeral, the purple and pearl bear of House Traxarth, the black and gold raven of House Oklanari, and the red and white fox of House Ferriton. And then walking into the school, it too is strangely bigger on the inside, almost as if by magic. The ghosts in the school are chattering with the paintings, excited for the students to come back from their break and excited to see the chubby, round, cute little faces of the first years coming in. And the staircases are not moving because that's really dumb and impractical. And from the headmistress's office, letters are being sent out to the new students, letting them know what they need for their first year at school. And soon the day turns to night, The chattering quiets down. The last letters are sent out. And a hush falls over the school. Until a deep, slow, mechanical, metallic thunk, like the swinging of a pendulum from a massive grandfather clock, echoes throughout the school until it's quiet once more. And we go to our golden trio. It's a week before school starts. You guys are getting the last bits of things in your suitcases, making sure you have all your necessary things to go back to school. For some of you, it's your last year. So we'll start with Catherine. What is Lemon doing?
Lemon is kind of like sorting. She has her box, and as soon as the other two see the box, they know it's the box. It's got all of her knickknacks, everything that she's collected while she's been gone, and just slowly like putting things on the table. Just like, so there's a really cool rock here. This looks like it was a snail shell. It's kind of crushed. There's this really pretty leaf that's been pressed. There's these like really cool coins that are from different places. Look at this rock. It's also smooth. Like just different things.
Since you all are at your own respective homes right now, Lemon, are you in your room right now, or are you have you just taken over the entire house packing?
You know what? I've taken over the entire house packing. So Lemon's style is chaos. So in order to put that chaos in a box, you have to first rip the entire room apart. Well, it's an entire room. To pack a small suitcase, you need a little bit more room than that. So we'll rip a little bit of the living room apart. Well, now I can't find my wand, so now we gotta go find the kitchen and rip that apart. And then, I'm just gonna get distracted halfway through and then go hang out with my cat familiar Trisket.
So your mom walks through the living room, and her hair is kind of piled in like a messy beehive on top of her head, and she's got a spoon stuck in it, and she looks around. She's like, Lemon, are you almost finished packing? I would rather like my house back. Not that I want you to go, but this is a lot.
No. Trisket, are we done? That seems like a yes. We are done.
I cannot communicate with your familiar, sweetheart. I know you two have that telepathic link. I do not share that. I have my own familiar. And she points out to the back garden where you see the massive beehive where her familiar is the queen bee.
I love it. Trisket says we need like a few more like fuzzy things and then we can go.
Fuzzy things. Do you want to borrow my fuzzy sweater again?
Do we have any more fuzzy dice?
Fuzzy dice? Like the ones in your
fuzzy dice.
And like the ones in your father's. I do not share that. I have my own familiar.
That one.
And she points out. So she takes the spoon out of her hair.
Or can I just take that?
She takes the spoon out of her hair and she kind of waves it. Do I want to make a roll for your mom? I'm going to make a roll for your mom. Let's
make a roll for my mom.
Let's see.
What's mom's name? What's Mama Weatherbottom's name?
Her name is Persimmon.
I love it.
Persimmon Weatherbottom. So your mom rolled a 16. So they're good looking fuzzy dice. You would have hoped they would have been bigger, but they'll do.
And Trisket is okay with this.
I am so glad that your cat is okay with this. I love you, sweetie. You are the best. You're going to do great. It's your second to last year at school. please don't blow anything up again. I love you, but I don't want to have to pay for a new section of the potions classroom. The
Okay.
professor's very nice. I don't want to do it.
They're the best.
They're the best.
They're the best. I know
went
what
to
I did
school
wrong
with
this
Dr.
time.
Magnolis. I know they are the best.
I know what I did wrong,
Uh-huh.
and it's fine.
Uh-huh.
All right, so clearly I just need to read more carefully. A pinch is not a pound. We're good.
Definitely
We're
not.
good.
Sweetie, this is why I love you. I love you. You're never in my kitchen for a reason, but I love you. She sticks the spoon back in her hair. She just putters through the house again.
Sorry, I love my mom so much. Thank you.
Anything else you want to take care of at your house before we jump on to the next person?
Oh, I need to get my hot glue gun. I
Your
found
hot-
more. Yeah.
Okay. So where do you think, where does Lemon think that the hot glue gun would be?
In the most logical place is in a laundry basket in the bathroom.
Okay. So you find your mom again, and she's holding the glue gun. She just looks at it.
She's like,
Looks to you.
just take that. Thank you.
I love
And
you.
just like rips off the sock that's attached to
Yes,
it.
that is your father's. We have enough problems with those damn brownies stealing the socks after I accidentally insulted them. I thought they like honey. I was not good at magical zoology. You're not supposed to give them gifts. I didn't know. So they're mad. They've been stealing socks. Double check your socks before you leave, by the way.
No. It's okay. You just the issue is you wear two different socks and then they get confused because they don't know which sock to take because you're not wearing them both at the same time.
I mean, that is sound logic, but I still don't like it. I love you.
What if there are two colors of the slightly different shade?
Perhaps you are so much like your father. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
She takes the laundry bin and she just putters out of the room. So we will jump to, if you're all done.
Yep, I'm good. I've got my trusty glue gun and Triscuit's happy, so we're good.
So then we will jump to Lucinda. Where do we find Lucinda? At their home before school.
So home has always been kind of a not fun place. It's been kind of dark the last couple years, ever since things went wrong. There is stuff being packed into a bag, just nicely folded, set where it belongs, zipped up, and set to the side. Kind of going through, checking and making sure things are dusted, prepared. I'm not going to be here. I stay the whole semester. There's no sense coming back here. Going through, making sure, any clothes that are left behind are nicely folded, appropriate for the season, where they belong. So whenever I do come back for the brief stint, I can go ahead and just switch all of my stuff over. And then from there, it's going through, ensuring basic chores around the house are done before I leave, because, well, don't know if I'll get them done or if anybody else will. It's a very complicated situation. I grab my familiar, which is a bat, make sure everything is cared for there, and I look upstairs at the attic door. And that was once a bedroom, and now it's more of a crypt. But I just kind of nod and collect what little trinket things that there could be, and then I go ahead and make my way back into my room and double check things.
As you're walking through your house, there are just pictures painted non-magically of your father all throughout the house. It's as if this entire house has become a shrine to his memory. And
I'm actually going to take one with me.
oh, you're going to take one.
I'm taking one of them with me. My favorite one, actually. It's one, he's actually smiling. And it was a couple years ago, we had gone and picked apples together. It was right before Halloween. It was a very big deal because he made the most fantastic apple cider. So I'm taking that picture with me. And it's a small picture, relatively, maybe like a 6x4 frame. And it's going in my bag and coming with me. It's a nice reminder that there were happier times once.
Do you talk to your mom at all while you're going through the house? Because she's in one of the rooms. I know you looked up to the attic, but she's in one of the rooms, and she's got a half-finished glass of some kind of alcohol, as has become custom for her.
So I collect my things, and I take them by the door and set them down. And part of me takes a breath, because this has just been the routine for the last couple years. And I turn around and I look at her and I go, okay, I'm going. Anything? Or am I just leaving? Which would you prefer at this point?
Just quiet for a moment. And she looks in your direction, but she doesn't exactly make eye contact with you. And in one of her drunken ramblings one night, she told you it hurts to look at you because you look so much like your father. So she can't really bring herself to look at you all that often. So she just looks in your direction and she says, "Last year of school, huh?"
Last one, and then I guess I'll figure it out from there, so you don't have to worry about seeing my face anymore, Mom.
I always worry about you. You always
That's what
worry
you
me.
said last. That's what you said last night. Which bottle is that one? Is it like the 99 or?
I've
I
stopped
don't know, because
looking.
you finished 96, 97, and 98.
Don't sass me, girl. You are not the only one who lost someone. Your father trusted the wrong people, and we are all suffering for it.
Well, good talk. This was as I expected it to be. I'll send you a letter or something and let you know before the semester's out when I'll be back to clean the house again and collect the rest of my things to go back.
Don't fail out of school.
It's the last thing that I want to do. I have to have a future. At least one of us does. And then she's picking up her stuff and walking out the door.
So there is a week left until school starts. Where is Lucinda going to stay?
So she is finding her way just out of this house. Because week left doesn't matter, close enough. She is going to find herself, like, preferably maybe like a decent little, like, hovel somewhere. But she actually remembers that her dad had, like, a shed. And it was for some of his super fun workings. So she's going to go there. It was something that he took her to maybe one time and was like, this is where I do all of my experiments. And so there's like a shower there, there's a fridge. she's got a little bit of cash. She'll get pick up some food, but she's gonna go stay there because staying in this house is like staying in a funeral home, and it's on a constant repeat. And nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody wants to live in a mausoleum. So she's making her way out to get her head right. So that way, whenever school does start, she is all there.
And as you go into this sort of shed type apartment, your little bat familiar and what was his name?
Oh, his name is Charles.
Charles. So I'm kind of seeing Charles like curled up in like the hoodie of like the very light cardigan that you're wearing. So he just kind of like crawls up and peeks his head out and like looks around the room. And as a storyteller note, wizards have a one-way telepathic connection to their familiars. I'm changing that. I'm homebrewing it. So there's a two-way connection, but the communication's kind of limited from the intelligence level of the familiar. So Charles kind of pops his head out. He looks around. It's like, not dark enough.
We'll close the curtains. It'll be darker then. And on top of that, there's a perch. For bats.
Perch.
So she's gonna kind of like reach back and like with her finger pick up Charles, who's a flying fox. So he's not small, nor is he like light.
No.
Just kind of like struggle with that for a minute and kind of like hold on to like his head too and like find him onto this perch and go and kind of like shut curtains and like make sure things are put together. And she kind of looks at her father's old like desk and it has like a nice layer of dust on it. And I think she's actually going to take the week to kind of straighten it up.
Yeah. And once you put Charles on the perch, he kind of like rocks himself back and forth because he is in tune with your moods and he knows you're upset, but he can't do anything because he's a bat. He's a giant bat, but he's still a bat. So he's just kind of self-soothing himself. He's like, my lady's not happy. I can't do anything. So he's just gonna watch and he's just gonna point out like, fly, food, fly.
She will kind of reach down into her bag and pull out what looks like it kind of looks like an oddly shaped dragon fruit. It's not quite right. It looks like somebody tried to grow it themselves because you kind of pull it apart and this is definitely not a normal fruit. This is very much like hey, maybe Dad's experiments to try to make a dragon fruit taste something like nothing. Maybe it was okay. And like she pulls it out and she'll peel it and cut it up and kind of like give a piece to the bat and be like, there you go, sweetie. And it's gonna spend the rest of the week kind of cleaning up this little apartment thing, kind of making it her own because it's still technically on the family property, but it's not anything expansive. It just gets her out of the house. But this is like her general game plan for now is like, if I can fix this up, I can at least get on my feet from here, get out of that house, get away from things. But before she settles it all in, she's going to pull out that picture of her dad and set it on the desk. Be like, I'm doing this for you, man. But
and then we finish our Golden Trio introductions with Avery. Ty, what is Avery doing?
Avery lives in upstate New York on a very vast property. This is a big, beautiful home that has been in the family for, since New England was colonized, pretty much. But obviously, it's been renovated and everything. It's probably now more of an updated Victorian style home with a big, beautiful wraparound porch. She's currently. They are currently, I always do this to myself. They're currently sitting at their desk, just check marking some things off. They have a beautiful designer set of luggage on their bed, mostly packed through. And they're on one of them, they're familiar. A cute little red fox named Quinn sits and just is napping quietly in the ray of sunshine that like sort of filters through. So Avery's just marking off, and off in the distance they hear a door slam and some squabbling and just sigh. And their sisters are home, and they have several sisters, all of which Avery would like to say, or would like to think that are maybe a little bit more favored. They've already gone through the academy and excelled with very high marks, and as the baby of the family, their future sort of is coming to a sort of prove yourself or don't moment. So they just kind of don't want to make any known. They don't want to make themselves known. They're just gonna sit up there quietly and finish packing, because it's always a little bit of drama when their sisters come around.
And as you're thinking, I don't want to make myself known, your dad comes into your room.
Father, hello.
Avery, your sister says that you have their, what was it? He calls back, and one of your sisters shouts out, my necklace! He turns back to you and says, her necklace. Where is that necklace?
I don't think I have her necklace, Father. She comes and goes. She probably just left it here. Here, I'll take a look. And they go over to their vanity where they have several jewelry stands, and they're looking through it. I don't even know what necklace it is. Is it what? Darla, what one is it?
Just like, it's the one with the flowers, the purple one.
Was it grandmother's?
No, it was Aunt Teresa's.
I don't know. Have you checked Gemma's room?
And you just hear, Gemma, where the fuck is my necklace? And you hear them start screaming at each other.
Very sorry, Father. I really don't know where it is.
That's quite all right. Your sisters have an extensive amount of jewelry, as is their right, as daughters of this family. You know, we expect the best and the finest. Speaking of expecting the best, it is your last year at Zoryce. I trust you will keep your grades exemplary.
Oh, absolutely.
No more A minuses.
Of course not.
Because, Avery, I must say, if an A minus was the best that you could do, I would be happy with an A minus. But we both know you can do better. And you will do better. Your final year, yes.
You're absolutely right, Father. I will do my absolute best. There's only one person stopping me, and I will see to it that I make you proud.
Oh, you don't have to just make me proud. You have the whole family to make proud. We have attended Zoryce since its inception. Your great something, and he rambles off all the greats, like to the number. Grandfather was friends with Hortensia Zoryce.
As I've heard many times, she sounds wonderful.
Is that attitude that I'm hearing?
No, sir.
I could have sworn it was.
I simply just mean that if I could only have been around with the first greats of our family, it would have been an honor.
I'm sure. Dinner is at 6:30 sharp. You will be there. And he leaves. And
like
your fox is on your bed, glaring at the now closed door.
Avery just looks back at Quinn and is just like, I know. Just a few more weeks and we'll be out of the house.
You just hear the voice of Quinn. What does Quinn sound like in your mind?
Oh, this is good. I didn't have to think about this. I
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah. I imagine that oh my gosh, just because I think it'd be great. Quinn has a nice little like southern drawl.
Mm.
And is very just like prim proper, like just like Southern belle, but also just like very judgmental, like oh, I don't like them. Oh, they are not good for you, honey.
Uh-huh. So Quinn is glaring daggers at the door your father just closed, and you hear their voice being like, well, he's just a rotten peach now, isn't he?
You do not have to say that twice.
I will. I'll do it.
I know you will.
I'll pee in his shoes.
Please don't. As amazing it would be, and like they're just like putting their office sort of like things away, their quill and their inks and everything. As amazing as it would be, I would never hear the end of it, and I just want to make myself as tiny as possible until I go.
Fine.
Thank you. And he'll get up and give her a little scratch behind the ears.
That kind of arches, like, very nice. Anything else you want to take care of? Final?
No.
Okay. Well, we smash cut. You guys are all at Clegorth's Mall of Magical Needs. It's a couple days before school starts, and this has kind of been your ritual to meet up before you meet up again at the transportation depot to take you to school. And Clegorth's Mall is a specifically magical shopping mall. So it's got various magical shops. It's got, if I go over to my notes, because I can't remember every single one of them. So it has got the branch of the Bank of Urhinoald. So it's for the exchange to the magical to not magical currency, because, hey, that is still a thing. There is specifically magical money. But instead of a racial depiction of stereotypes, instead, this bank is staffed by magical automatons. And then you have Monahan's Robery. And on the sign, the extra B in Robery, to where it used to be robbery, is X'd out. And it's been that way since the store opened. No one's bothered to get a new sign. They just X'd it out. And then there is Lanfranc's famous familiars, where you each got your own familiars. There is the World of Wands, where y'all got your wands, and the Zoom and Brooms. Where do you think I'm going with this? You got your brooms there. And then there are other stores around there. There is Crassus's teeny tiny tomes for just tiny books. There is Burchard's Book World for regular but kind of eclectic books. And then there's the Barnes and Ogres bookstore. And then we have MVS Pharmagics for your apothecary needs. You have Isenbold's Ingenious Inks for if you want some fun color changing inks or any kind of magical writing. There is also Owl Postal.
I hate this.
There is Build a Broom Workshop, where little kids can build their very first training broom.
Build
so
a broom workshop.
Build a broom workshop.
Build a broom.
Make my day, Rachel. Make my day.
Yes, Lemon.
Yes, Lemon.
Do they sell accessories?
They, in fact, do sell accessories. They're kind of fit for training brooms for little kids, but you can certainly stick it on your broom if you want.
I have a
Please
glue gun.
tell me. Oh my god. Please tell me that they also have I guess maybe it'd be the apothecary, someplace where they have some crystals and healing, like thing. They have like their the sound bowls and
Yeah, so that would definitely be an MVS for Magics. Want to say that again? MVS.
MVS.
It's not another letter at the beginning. It's MVS. and there is a section for that kind of almost like intention magic, rather than like your traditional magic. So that's where you would find the crystals and the sound bowls and things like that.
Nice.
So we're hanging out at this mall, as teenagers do. What are you guys doing?
You know what? I am gonna have like a super gulp of some purple slushy mix. It looks like when you look in, it looks like the cosmos is like swirling in her drink, and it's like this super crazy like straw.
Yeah, you got that from 11-7.
Yeah, from 11-7.
I would probably be actually at the bank, because I spent that entire week cleaning up my dad's old place, and I might have found a little bit of currency that maybe wasn't magical currency, maybe not a huge amount of it, but I would be getting it switched over so that way I can go and get a couple things for class.
Okay, so you exchange your money, the non-magical money into magical money.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go, run into the familiar store and maybe get, Charles something nice.
Cute. What kind of nice thing are we getting for Charles? Or is it treats, or is it
Charles?
Like a little fuzzy sweater?
We're getting Charles. Okay, for one, I was gonna say bow tie. We'll get him like a little bow tie, and we're also gonna get him. It's kind of like it's like a bag that you can actually put sugar gliders in, but I'm getting a really big one to carry Charles around in, because Charles needs love too, guys.
It's adorable.
And from your side, kind of where is Charles now? Is Charles with you?
Oh yeah, definitely with me. And I'm getting really tired of having to like carry him in some kind of like something that's like under my arm, slightly on my back. So instead we're just gonna get a sling to put Charles on. Charles has dependency issues, guys.
He
does. Like a really cheap bag from what was it? Spell Topic.
Yes.
No, it's cold issues.
God.
It's cold issues.
Thank you.
Oh my god. So
you find a bag with it's the I'm trying to think of a band name for magic people.
Oh,
Frank.
Oh wait, I got one. As I Rise Living. We'll go with that.
Yeah. So there's like a bag for the As I Rise Living. And Charles from where he is kind of like points out a wing pointing at like a little pillow for whatever the magical Sailor Moon equipment. It's still Sailor Moon. Fuck it, Sailor Moon. And he's like, that. Fully wanting you to put that in the bag for him to cuddle with.
So I'm gonna walk up to it. It's like a scepter or something, something. It's like a nice scepter, gold, clearly Sailor Moony, if anybody knows, we're gonna go with like Sailor Neptune's like scepter.
Okay.
Love Sailor Neptune. Best. And I'm gonna look at the amount of money I have left, look at this like scepter pillow thing that I'm clearly holding here, as you see, and just, I swear, Charles, of all the money in the world, I'm gonna spend 98% of it on making your life comfortable, and I'm gonna buy the pillow, buying it. I have to at this point. And then the rest of it is like, okay, here is your pillow. Here is your bag. Everything is nice now. We're going to go find our friends and get school supplies because that's what I'm here for. You're spoiled. You're a spoiled bat. And then just start walking.
He's just hugging it. He's just hugging the pillow. He's very happy.
Yeah, it's just the most happiest little bat to ever bat with his little bow tie and his little pillow. Charles's life is the best life of all of us. I'm just...
Best life. And where do we find Avery in the mall?
Avery has already done most of the clothes shopping.
Mm-hmm.
They have several bags in their hands, clearly, from just, all of the little bit like more ritzier, more expensive stores in the mall. And they'll probably make their way to what was the apothecary? The
Well, you have MVS Farm Magics, and then you have Morrow's Apothecary, but that's more for ingredients.
No, definitely the MVS.
Okay.
And Quinn is walking alongside them, and they have I'm gonna say they have a cute little what's it called?
Like a harness?
No, oh my god, like a bandana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Love that. So you're walking into MVS,
Mm-hmm.
and you see this shop attendant with this crazy frizzy hair, little spotty. Clearly this is a summer job. He's like, hi, how can I help you?
I would like to see your latest shipment in crystals, please.
Crystals are that way.
Thank you.
Do you want anything else? We got some new toadstools.
Oh my god, wonderful. And then just leaves.
Okay. Let me know if you need something.
Beautiful. So Avery goes over to the crystals. They actually along like on their belt loop have like a little bag that they kind of keep on them of a few crystals. They really like intuition or whatever it's called. Sorry.
Intention,
not intuition. Intuition magic.
You do have real good intuition.
I do. Yes. So they really do like intention magic. They like the allure that humans have to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they like kind of studying the differences between like their own magic and intention magic. And so they'll just go look at the pretty crystals.
Gotcha. Yeah, so the section in MVS is kind of small because intention magic isn't really, I'm not going to say it's not a real part of magic. It's just not a traditional kind of magic. It's very new. It's very niche because it's coming from non-magical people. You know, a lot of your traditional sorcerers don't really believe in it. So what does Lydia, sorry, I'm looking at your thing. It's your old character name. What does Avery do with these crystals? Like how do they sort of work that intention magic when they're trying to do something?
Well, they definitely like take each one and roll first before touching any of them. They'll sort of like gaze over them, and because they do have very good intuition, they sort of just listen. And will sort of like hover their fingers over them and just feel out the energies of them.
We're gonna have our first player roll of this session. I'm gonna want you to roll your brains, Avery. So you're rolling a D10. This is a not magical roll.
D10.
And you're gonna want a difficulty of 8.
Which means that I have to.
So you're rolling a D10 for your
Yeah.
brains.
Uh-huh.
So your difficulty is 8. So you need to at least hit an 8.
Okay, gotcha. And then in brains, I have a flat stat of +1, right?
You have a flat stat of +1.
Okay. I did not get it.
What'd you roll?
5.
Okay. So nothing's happening. You don't really get anything from them.
Probably a bunch of knockoffs.
But do you look at like any of the singing bowls, any of the pendulums?
Ooh, definitely pendulums.
Okay. Do you want to try and see if one calls for you?
Yeah, I'll try one more time. If not, they just got a faulty shipment.
Okay. So same roll, same difficulty. So difficulty of 8.
Gotcha. Ooh, I got 11.
Wait, you're rolling with your that's with your +1?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you're within 5 of your difficulty, so you get to narrate. Tell me what happens.
Ooh, okay. Real quick. Sorry. Real quick.
You're fine. Are we looking up the best pendulum to pick out?
Yes. Okay. So it's gonna be a really pretty like silver chain. Excuse me. A really pretty silver chain with a sort of I guess like metallic little ball. But right below that is a beautifully carved amethyst. And it is on the heavier side. It's pretty big, just so it has that nice swinging weight to it. And carved into the amethyst on one side is a little sigil. And they're unfamiliar with the sigil, but they're being called to it, like just drawn to it. So they're gonna pick it up and just sort of turn it over in their hand and lift it up by the chain and just see where it swings.
Do you want to actually do some intention magic right now?
Why not?
Okay. We're going to call that a charm roll. Difficulty, I'm going to say difficulty 9. And this is a magic roll, so you get to add your D4 on top of it.
Woo! Hold on, I gotta find my D12. That's the 12, right? The little, wait, where's my camera?
Yeah, the smaller of the D20 looking things is the D12.
Okay, yes. Okay. I should have looked at the numbers. And then I add a +4.
You're rolling with the dice pool. Yeah, so you roll with your D4 and your D12.
Okay.
Because storyteller note for our audience, when you cast magic, you add on your D4, so you're rolling with the dice pool. Just for magic.
Ooh. I got 2 7s.
2 7s, so we're a 14. Love that. So yeah, so you are holding this pendulum and it's kind of swinging lightly. And then it shoots off to the side.
Out of my hands or just?
It points.
Oh.
And as you follow it, it leads you back to your friends who have now kind of gathered around a table with their own respective bags, and they're just chatting, waiting for you to finish up.
Nice. Is it like different friends or is it the trio?
It's the trio.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I was like, and they're in the apothecary place?
No, they are fully out of the apothecary.
Oh, so I just leave with the pendulum?
You throw money at them. Okay. Like, here, take it. We're hand waving this. I don't give a shit. It's storytelling. He's like, okay, thank you. No, ring it up for you. You don't get a receipt. Sorry.
And like, yeah, so I'll follow it and I'll walk out and I'm still holding it up and it's just like pointing to them. And as I get closer, it kind of just like dies down. And then I'm just like, huh. And I put it in my crystal bag.
So you're now all together again in the mall.
So it's just gonna look over at Avery and just be like, you're never gonna believe the things I've had to buy for this bat. You're never look at this. And I'm gonna like open the new bag and there's like the Sailor Moon scepter and a bow tie and everything else. It's like, look at this. Do you see this spoiled child of mine? I swear. And I'm just gonna like set it back down and just be like,
No.
It's okay, but it's been all day. I can still, in the back of my head, hear him complaining because he wanted more fruit from the actual, store. It's ridiculous. How was your
Avery and Lemon hear bat chittering, but listen, you can hear food.
all day with this one. It's been all day.
Is he getting enough food? Are you feeding him?
I swear he's overweight. I swear he's overweight.
Again, fat chittering, but you hear him say, no fat shame.
It's not fat shaming. It's concern. Even listen, we went to the vet. You know what? You're just gonna take a nap. Take a nap, and we're gonna just kind of like rearrange how this bag is situated. You're gonna go. You're just gonna take a nap.
Can familiars understand each other?
Like, rearrange how this bag is situated.
So the way it works, just by rules as written, it's just a telepathic link between the wizard sorcerer and their familiar. We can rules lawyer it in that they don't exactly have the ability to communicate with each other, but they have like an understanding of each other.
Like body language,
yeah,
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The ears.
Yeah.
By the chittering, I think that Quinn will kind of like huff and like point her nose up and just be like, like he calls that spoiled.
And Triscuit's just kind of in your lap, Lemon, being like, this good.
Getting head scratches.
Just happy to be there. Kind of pointing out at people, being like, nice hat, nice shoes. I like that. This good. Friends.
Avery will reach over to give Triscuit some scratches.
Triscuit does like the full on like melt into you.
Yeah. Triscuit is a liquid now. They're just kind of like
as cats are.
Just kind of like flops over into your lap, like
we're still trying to figure out the properties of a cat so that we can kind of, really, really get that going, but we don't know yet.
So, how was everyone's time home?
Oh, yeah, no. Nope. Then I'm gonna pick up Lemon's drink and take a drink of it.
It is sickly sweet. Like to the point where it's almost painful. It's so sweet.
Oh,
that was, I knew going forward that was going to be a mistake, but some part of that made me feel better. Thank you.
What'd I do?
Yeah, no, home is just as awful as it was last year, guys.
Question, sorry. Do we know like when all the stuff went down with your family? Or
So my dad died about 5 years ago.
okay. So we
Y'all
would
would have
we
heard
know
the
that.
tale.
Okay.
It was, so from what I understand, it was actually kind of a to-do. My dad wasn't just killed, it was a hit, kind of, for some reasons. So y'all know.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all definitely know.
Okay. Well, at least another school year. Last one. For us.
Yeah.
Lemon still has
Every-
another year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone's leaving me.
Oh. You are a shining personality. You will absolutely find some other people to drain all of our energy from.
None as cool as you.
Oh, thank you.
Again, honestly, I would pay money for an eighth of the energy that you have, Lemon, if we're being fair.
My secret is the drink.
Oh, yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Keep going. Just keep going.
Please don't.
So I've been experimenting. Okay.
With the drink?
Okay. With the drink.
Oh.
I think.
Wait,
I've
just
gotten-
drank that.
Oh, spit it up. Go to the bathroom.
Okay, no. It's
I
fine.
think it's too late.
It's mostly just 11-7 slushy. Mostly. But
What?
so
Okay,
over
what
the
is the
so
what is the
over
not mostly Lemon?
So over the break, I have been experimenting with the whole fact that sleep is a lie and we don't need it. And so what is it about the coffee bean that has to be in bean form? But coffee is so bitter and gross. So I have learned how to milk the coffee bean. You know how like there's like almond milk? Yeah, this is the coffee bean milk.
Oh, Lemon, we've been sitting here for a solid 15 minutes. And you didn't think in that time frame to let me know? My God, why do my teeth feel like bees?
You start to
No,
get like
it'll be fine.
tingles in your extremities.
Yeah. It'll be fine.
Sleep is a lie, Lucy.
It's not. It's really not, sweetheart.
Does your mom know you did this?
My dad said I could do
Or
it.
did she?
It's a plant.
Okay,
By the way,
that was mistake number one.
you guys both have met Lemon's dad, and Bartholomew Weatherbottom is exactly like his daughter.
It is a plant, and they already harvest it. It's coffee.
Yeah, but like in a bean form. But we can't use the berries. And the berries don't make any sense because then there's like the berry is not called the berry, the bean, but only a single bean is called the pea berry. But why do we need a pea berry? It's not even peas.
I swear to God, it's like she was speaking English for like 5 whole seconds. I have no idea what she is talking about, but it's so cute when she does.
The enthusiasm is just always mind-boggling.
It really is. God, it's like all of my, like, oh, God, I'd pay absolute money for an eighth of the energy that she holds in her person. It's fascinating.
Trying to get the jitters now, Lucinda.
Like, man, not soon. Okay, I can feel my blood in my veins. This honestly,
it's
you blew
working.
up. You blew up half of the potions class last year, and I'm wondering if maybe this is why. I can see color. I don't think that's healthy or safe.
Well, I mean,
Seeing
I
color
like
is
color.
fine.
It'll be fine.
It's when you
Hopefully.
start hearing smells, that's when we need to like, oh.
And I know
Let's
I
get
just
some
said
water.
see color. I don't think water's gonna help. I think water might just make this worse. Like, where?
Is there
Anyway, words.
It's okay. I have got
taste-
a fix.
I
if you
can
need
taste
it.
letters.
Okay. Clearly, this was too much for you for like your first time. I get it. It's fine. So like, she's got like this oversized like handbag, and it just dunks down like up to like her wrist, and it's like there's a lot of jostling going
You're
on.
wrestling a
She's-
small bass.
Yeah. And pulls out like this tiny bottle. It's like a weird, like a creamy yellow orange color. And it's just like, okay, give me your hand.
Oh, don't do it. Please don't do it.
It'll make it better. I
Oh,
promise it'll make it better.
I honestly don't. I don't think I have a choice. All right.
Okay.
Just.
I'm just like very carefully like uncorks it and very carefully just like plops a single drop in the middle of your hand. I'm like, all right, lick it.
Lick it. But hey, Lemon, did you make this potion up yourself?
Oh, I totally did.
Lovely. I love that. Give me a brains roll to see how well you did creating this.
Great. I love this.
It's a brains roll. It's going to be magic included because potions are magic. So you're rolling with your D10 and a D4, and I'm looking for a difficulty of you're making this a brand new potion, so I'm gonna say you're gonna have to hit a 10.
Okie dokie. Give me one
So
second.
sorry,
As
Lucy.
apparently there we go. Okay.
Honestly, I'm.
All right.
Sure
what did
it'll
you
be
need
fine.
again?
I needed a 10.
All right. I can give you an 8. That's as close as I can give you.
Okay. So what did you want the potion to do?
I wanted it to be basically a super concentrated version of vitamin C to counteract the stimulants.
Okay. So you get that loosened, but you
Like
also
Like a
also
lemon warhammer straight to the face.
you also turn a little orange.
Oh, God.
You know, honestly, I thought to myself whenever I woke up today, Lemon, that this wouldn't, that I wouldn't go looking like I got a bad spray tan to the first couple days of school, but it's all right. It's okay. I can work with this. It's fine.
I can't be seen with you looking like this. Can I do a charm? Is there a visual charm that I can?
Yeah,
Maybe
So,
it'll just, wear off once it's out of your system.
Avery, I'm gonna have you make, because this is sort of like healing. I'm gonna have you make a grit roll.
Okay.
So
Oh,
it's a D4.
oh, that's my
So you're gonna be
lowest.
rolling two D4s, and I'm just gonna say, I'm not gonna punish you for this. Just give me a difficulty 3.
I was gonna.
I
It's
gotta get another-
flammable,
I
like
gotta get another
clearly
4.
this
Hold
is
on.
a norm.
I'll just roll it twice.
Yeah.
So 2d4 and it's
So
3.
you're rolling 2D4 because you're casting magic.
Okay. So I got a 3 and a 4. So 7.
Oh, 4s explode because you
Oh,
rolled the highest
well-
number, so you can roll again.
Oh, that's a good thing. Okay.
It's yeah. So storyteller note: when you roll the highest value of whatever die you're rolling, even if it's your magic die, it explodes, or you have a lucky break, meaning you get to re-roll it.
I got another 4.
Oh, that explodes again.
So does the higher, you cannot get the highest, or?
So you have a 3 and a 4, so you're at 7. You just added a 4 again, so you're at an 11.
Oh,
Yeah,
dang.
so you get to roll
Oh, I
again.
got a 1.
Okay, so that's a 12. So, Lucinda, not only does the orange go away, the jitters are completely gone. And not only that, but you've been feeling kind of run down a little bit just because of that week. You're perfectly fine now.
Well, guys, it's God, I've missed you both. This has been just today's been an adventure. This year's gonna be neat. Just kind of like taking a seat, like, man, it's been literally a solid 15 minutes between all of y'all, and just already here we are.
Well, I'm just happy to
Teamwork
see that
makes
you
the
finally got
dream
some
work.
color back in your cheeks.
Just not the orange color.
I mean,
Just a normal, natural.
yeah, I'm glad it's the right color. I'm glad I don't look like, you guys know what Cheeto dust is, right? You guys remember what
I
Cheetos
wasn't
are?
gonna go that far. I was thinking more like you were gonna be like the cutest pumpkin for Halloween. Like your jack-o'-lantern like shit would be so good, and everyone would be like, "Oh my god, who's that girl? Oh, her costume is so on point." And then they'd be like, "Oh wow."
You know, why don't we try this again around Halloween then?
Let's not
do that then.
Let's not say we did.
Oh, just wait until Halloween, you guys. You're gonna have fun.
Oh yay.
So with that, your day at the mall concludes. You go back to your respective lodgings until a couple days later when you go back to school. But for right now, since we've been on stream for about an hour, we're going to go ahead and take a break. So I'm going to ramble on for a hot minute and let Adam cue it up because he's running tech for us. See you in Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Hope you all got whatever drinks and snacks you want for this last half of episode 1. So, beginning of the school year. You all have come out of your respective runic circles in the transportation depot, brought your luggage up to your respective dorm rooms, put them away. You had a little time to relax before the first day opening ceremonies in the auditorium hall. And then when it's time, you gather in the auditorium hall, seated in the little sections for each of your houses. And the headmistress comes up. I don't remember her name. What's her name? Marjorie Barrows. Headmistress Marjorie Barrows. And she is a tall, stately woman with salt and pepper hair and these just purple glasses. Because when she attended Zoryce, she was in House Tragzarth. She is impartial, but tiny little bits of accessory favoritism. And she stands on the stage in the auditorium hall and looking at all the students and says, "Welcome. Welcome to your first day or your first returning day to Zoryce Academy of Sorcery. For our new students, please come forward." And you see the little first years with their standard black robes kind of step forward. And from the floor, it kind of ripples a little bit, and this plinth with an orb on top comes up. And the first year students' names are called. They step up to this orb, just like you once did, and they place their hands on top of it. And the orb cycles through all 5 colors of the houses before it settles on the one that the orb feels best represents them. And then as it does, sparkles shoot out of the orb and just sort of twirl around the students, and the lining of their robes become the colors of their respective houses, and they'll trot off to their houses. And the great thing about Zoryce is that people in houses aren't kept separate. Their co-mingling is highly encouraged, because one of the things that Hortensia Zoryce believed when starting the school is that even though a person may have certain traits inherent in them, others will bring out different ones in them. They will bring out others in another person. So it's all about strengthening and becoming a better, more well-rounded person as you grow. You're not... Also, there is no evil house. It's not a thing. There is no evil house. Sorry for all you viewers. There's no evil house. We don't do that. We don't tell an 11-year-old, you're evil now. We're not doing that. So, the last of the students...
Plot twist, we're all evil.
Oh, God.
Lemon definitely is.
Lemon is actually the dark chosen one. Surprise. But as the last of the little baby first years gets sorted into their houses, Headmistress Barrows takes a stand in front of the little podium again and says, "Now, before I excuse you all to the dining hall for dinner, I must make an announcement. Please note, for all first years and underclassmen, the boathouse is off limits to you. You must be an upperclassman to rent a boat. I do not want another incident where a underclass student takes a boat and endangers their lives. I swear, if this happens again, I will magic your feet to the floor for detention." Now, on another note, I understand that last year, rumors were going around about certain 7 mysteries in this school. And some students were going on a wild goose chase in order to find whatever mysteries these may be. And these wild goose chases led them to being out of their rooms after curfew, breaking far too many school rules. I must say, yet again, as I seem to be having to do every single year, these mysteries are just a school legend. I don't know who started it. I don't know why they started it. But these mysteries do not exist. These rules are in place for a reason. I do not want to see any student out of their dorm rooms past curfew. She kind of looks over to this grouping of ghosts who are wearing this sort of like spectral security guard uniform. And she gestures over to them and says, "We have hired this spiritual security guard network to patrol the halls after hours. If you are caught out of your dorms past curfew, you will have detention. And if you get too many detentions, you know what happens. Are we all understood?" And she's expecting to hear a chorus of yes.
Yes, mistress.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, now that that is out of the way, on to some pleasantries. You may all break to the dining hall for dinner. So you guys make your way to the dining hall. You hear this chattering, and it's once again the rumor mill, as you have heard every year since you were in your respective first years. These 7 mysteries. What are they? Why are they? Some people say that if you find out all of these mysteries, you are granted your heart's desire. And others say that if you find them, you get to have, the best grades in the entire school, and you can get whatever job you want without even having to interview. Like it's like the test of ultimate power. And it's just going and going and going. And even the first years are starting to pipe up like, wait, I can find all these and just graduate immediately. I don't have to go throughout school. And they're kind of getting a little bit excited.
Oh my God. I turn around and I look at the first years and I'm just like, listen, don't listen to this absolute idiocracy. They're idiots, clearly, because if they existed, maybe they would have found them and wouldn't be here right now. And as someone who comes from a very long line of people who have attended Zoryce Academy and graduated with exemplary marks, none of my family has found these to be in existence.
And a little first year looks up at you, and chubby cheeks, freckles all over them, just the cutest thing in the entire world, looks up at you with these like innocent little eyes and says, what if they weren't very smart?
Oh, sweetheart, clearly you don't know us. And I pat their head.
Just kind of like brush you off.
Lemon hears that and will like turn around and just like, I believe in them. Do you want to hear about it?
Lemon, please do not.
No.
These
Clearly.
brains.
So, what you have to do, and don't tell anyone I told you this, okay? You can't. You promise. You promise.
Yeah.
I see you promising. Okay.
Picky.
All right. The first thing you have to do. All right. So at night, you need to sneak into the kitchen, and at the very bottom of one of the truffle carts, there's going to be a ring. You need to find it. You can't just you can't just put your fingers on all of the little truffles. So you have to eat them.
The only thing you got out of that, sweetheart, is a tummy ache.
Wait, is there like a big box of candy? Cause my big brother, he gave his girlfriend truffles and they were candy. Is there candy in the kitchen? Or can we find candy in the kitchen?
No.
I'm leaving now. And
everything everything she just said is wrong. The only way that you achieve anything in this life, children, is if you actually work for it and put some effort behind it. Taking shortcuts is a lie, because life is unfair. Everything is dark, and the only thing that can give you any hope in the long run is if you work very hard for it. So
they're backing away as you're talking.
Yeah, good.
Oh, bring me candy.
I know, no candy. I need you to take all of these fantasies and misconceptions of some shortcut to graduation and realize that the only thing that you will ever get that will give you any satisfaction in your life is graduating and moving on from everything bad.
One of them starts crying. One of them just crying.
Why are you?
I'm just gonna take one of the truffles and it's just stares at the kid and just smashes it into his face.
It's got like a swipe of half melted chocolate off their forehead. They take it and they just like crying. They just start nibbling into it.
And then we'll physically turn this kid around and we'll push him towards his friends.
And they just they kind of they're looking at Lucinda we don't like you. You are big and scary. And they're just continuing on their way to the dining hall.
I'm just gonna turn and look at Lemon and be like, why does no one understand the value of hard work these days? Look at these. They honestly, just the entitlement of these children. Turning around, keep walking.
Oh my God. Avery has since went to the table, sat down, has started enjoying dinner.
Now, are you guys sitting together, or are you sitting with your own houses?
Probably together.
Probably together.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if they were gonna be rude, they can get a little bit extra.
You're gonna get them in trouble, and then they're not gonna trust
I
anything
have
that
no
anyone
idea
has
what you're
to
talking
say.
about. Kids are stupid.
Oh,
They
you're
do
not.
stupid things for stupid reasons. We
I would
grew out of
like
that.
everyone, I would like to remind everyone that we've been here for an incredibly long time. If there were 7 mysteries, obviously one of us would have noticed. Avery's family definitely would have noticed at some point. They've been here since the dawn of time. Cavemen of her family line attended this school. I don't think I'm
Yes.
wrong.
I also don't think you're wrong. If there were 7 mysteries to find, it would be just another one of the many things my father would want me to excel at.
Plus,
Or alternatively, your dad would want you to turn it in so that way he could excel at it if this is the
Well-
ultimate, whatever, like the freaking, oh God, what is that thing we were studying? Like the Philosopher's Stone? Yeah, no. Yeah, if somebody found one of those, I'm pretty sure your dad would buy it, use it for himself, and then sell it to the highest bidder for, whatever he could find for that.
You know Richard way too well.
Well, Richard and my dad had dealings once upon a time, and everything just kept going. God love you, Richard.
I just think that mysteries make things interesting, but they're also dangerous. Okay? So, like, the Namis have, like, this really cool, story, and it's about this captain, okay? Which is the captain with no hand. His name is Captain Hook. Captain Hook is like this really cool, he's kind of a bad guy, but he's like kind of not, because if you look at him from an adult perspective, he's like, well, like, duh, children are stupid. But if you're a kid, you're like, oh my God, this guy is like, meh, we can't deal with this. So they stab him with like little forks. Anyway, so he actually apparently, like, the Namis like took him from like a real pirate. Like they like was a pirate from the queen. Anyway, so like she gave him like pirate abilities. Like she's like, you're a sanctioned pirate. It's cool. But he lost his hand and they replaced it with a golden hook. And that's how it's a golden hook. Anyway, he has a university. And if you go to the university, it's called the Society of the Severed Hand. And you have to go and you have to find a mannequin hand where they just ripped off a mannequin hand and then they wrote down like how to contact them. And it's really creepy. And why would someone go through so much effort? And why would we do that? That's just dumb.
Well, it sounds like a ploy for someone's money, so.
Society of the Severed Hand.
What other conspiracy theories have you actually? No, please don't answer that. I do not want to know.
It's not a conspiracy theory, it's real. In and out of character. In and out of character.
That is the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire
The
life.
Society of the Severed Hand was a thing at my school.
Thanks, I hate it. I'm sorry, at your school?
Oh yeah, no.
I've heard of
you
this
would find
now.
Red handprints. It was great. I found the severed hand. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never got to find the rest of the clues though. Anyway, continue.
I'm just enjoying my meal.
I got big lemon energy, okay? Just gotta lean into it.
So, why do you think, Lemon, maybe set this question out. Avery.
Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. Those dang La Sombras invading my magic game. How dare they? But Adam's computer is back online. We have returned. And as a quick rewind, excuse me. So Lucinda asked Avery, her family has been here since the beginning of the academy. Have they heard about these 7 mysteries? take it away.
Well, really not much else besides the rumor mill. They liked to talk about really just how stupid they were most of the time. About the students that were, Gemma was dating this guy at one point, and he had snuck off into some section of the forest and got bit by something, really not sure what. Anyway, he was had a very, very swollen leg for probably half the semester. Good times. But really, other than that, I don't think they've ever paid much mind to it. I do think I recall grandmother saying something about it a while ago before she passed. Oh God, I think I don't even know. I'd have to. I don't think it was important.
I mean, well, I don't know. It just sounds like a trick for first years. We've all heard it. I've never, put any merit into it just because it sounds like a tradition thing. You pass it on down. You haze the little kids haze the other little kids as the little kids get older, that sort of thing. I still am a little mildly stuck on severed hands, but regardless, at least, this is our last year dealing with this crap. And then it can be, our last year. Sorry, Lemon. At least it can be somebody else's problem next year. And, if somebody finds some kind of mysterious, chalice in a potions classroom that's been put in a wall or,
If it was
something.
put in the wall, we would have found it already. Or we would have found it last year.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, at that point, it's just, okay, which teacher is smuggling in hooch? Like, come on. I mean, honestly, if I had us in class, I'd drink too, let's be real.
And if anybody had
I am a delight.
Delightfully
effervescent. You're very you're effervescent.
Oh, much better said.
Yep.
I think I will write home. See if maybe they can dig up grandmother's diary. She might have said something. I don't know. I think really what bothers me the most is the fact that it's persisted for so long. I mean, why would it be such a big rumor if, where did it begin?
That's actually kind of a good point. And we do have, if I'm not mistaken, this is our last year. We might have papers to write. We could technically team up and write a paper on this. So that way we put it to bed, for one. Nobody has to worry about it anymore. And I mean, spare time. It gets boring here. And especially if you didn't fill up your entire schedule.
And maybe
Might give us something to do.
You can get some extra credit.
Extra credit is great. And I mean, extracurriculars and disproving complete mindlessness from students might look nice on
That's kind of fun.
Is my head of house, is my the guy in charge of my house, is he in here somewhere?
So Forrest Medlar, who is the teacher of the magical zoology for our audience, he most certainly is here. He is sitting up with the teachers. He's got, like auburn hair that's kind of pulled up into a top knot. He looks like he smells a patchouli. He definitely smells a patchouli.
My kind of guy. Love that. So, auburn-haired men with top knots. sounds like right up my alley. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna kind of like scan and see him. And like zoology, he's pretty chill. He has to be chill. I've known him for a hot minute now. Chill guy. I'm gonna kind of like.
He's not chill.
I know. Just
not chill.
Chill though, right? No, not chill at all. So I'm gonna be like, actually, you know what, guys? I had a little bit of trouble with a couple things. And GPA kind of like did a little bit of whoop. Why don't we go talk to the heads of house and see? Let's test the waters a little bit on this little group project. And, collaboration. We're collaborating. We're helping with ideas. Maybe we can get a little bit of a pass for some things. And Avery, you know how Richard is. He wants us to do good. So why don't
for history
to do good?
We can put this whole rumor mill to rest. And, if the heads of our houses are like, maybe, then we could maybe rally the masses to go talk to the headmistress. I'm just saying, maybe.
Okay.
So
when you go and you talk to when you talk to Dr. Magnolis, can you just like tell them that this would be a really good outlet for me, and that no potions will probably be involved, and therefore this is just I'm not selling myself short. I am just talking about realities, and you were talking about being realistic, and we're working with realism. It would probably be better if we just, threw that in there. I am aware of my own idiosyncrasies. Some of them.
I
My mom said not to blow up the potions class again. Okay, I need something to do.
We'll work it out. So she's gonna stand up. I'm gonna stand up, and I'm gonna sight in on a yield forest over there, and I'm gonna politely walk over and.
Don't you wish you were still orange like their head?
No. No, I sure don't.
He sees you walk up. He's like, "Well, hey there, champ. How you doing?"
Doing swell. So me and a couple of the others had an idea for something.
Sure.
It's a little out of the box.
Love it. Run it by me.
We want to disprove the mysteries, and it's like an extra credit paper. It kind of puts the houses together a little bit, and we want to kind of research it just a smidge and prove it's not real, so the first years don't get into trouble.
But I'm gonna have to stop you there. You know how I feel about rules. I think they're just, there to threaten you into behaving a certain way. I get it. We're on the same level with that. But I cannot give you the okay to do that, because this is an edict from the headmistress, and I need my job.
No.
So
I know, but see, it's just there's some concerns because the first years are hearing everybody talk about it. The headmistress makes such a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
And they just they now think it's real. So we're wanting to kind of do like a service to the school, you see.
I get it, bud. I get it. But at the same time, no. Because they're first years. They're little babies. I get it. They're all excited. I know. It's magic. We're magic. But, no.
Solid no.
What other questions you got for me? You excited for this year?
Oh, absolutely thrilled. It's dripping out of my bones. Anyway, thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.
You smell great this year.
Thank
So
you. It's something new I'm working on. You ever heard of ambergris? Apparently there's a magical version of it. It's great.
I am sure the hippogriffs love that. Thank you so much for your delightful insight. You are so valued.
Anytime,
And turning
Shale.
around, walking back, sitting down. Okay, who's next?
Oh, that
He said no.
that was a show. That was just.
I
bravo.
feel like you almost got him there. Just like a little bit more next time.
I tried really hard.
Forest is not chill.
Not chill.
Not chill.
Forest is wonderful. I love Forest.
I love Forest.
Yeah, that was something.
Who's next?
Tell me a little bit about dear Miss Sweetleaf.
Zenobia Sweetleaf, our divination teacher. She has multiple rainbow colored braids and has multiple piercings down her ears. You can see at one point her lips and her nose have been pierced, but she apparently does not wear them during the school year because that can be kind of scary. But she's like covered in just colors and accessories. She is like a walking rainbow.
She's my spirit animal.
I know. I feel like Lemon might be better talking to her.
I mean, Lemon can also go and talk to Dr. Magnolis.
Yeah.
And Dr. Magnolis is a wood elf. And his hair is in long dreads, but it's almost like it's not hair, but it's like moss and sticks. And his skin is almost like the color of lichen. It's that like light, almost grayish green, and his eyes are almost black.
Instead of going to our respective head of houses, do we maybe have like classes we do better in that we might have a favorite teacher to go to?
That's my favorite teacher.
Dr. Magnolis.
Why do you think I'm still in school?
I mean, you can talk to Dr. Magnolis if you want.
I will talk to Dr. Magnolis.
Okay.
I'm trying to like look at this like list here to see if there's anything that I think I would
just put
particularly
that big
like more,
Avery energy. Put that big Avery energy on the table and just go straight up to the headmistress.
Oh God. I mean,
to the source.
why don't you talk to Magnolis first?
Okay.
Let's see where that takes us.
Avery's gonna love Dr. Magnolis.
And yeah, if not, I'll go straight to the top.
I'm going with them to bring up the rear. I want to see how this goes, firsthand.
All
since mine went
three of you
so
are
well.
walking up to Dr. Magnolis.
Okay.
Is that what I'm hearing? Okay.
Yes,
all right.
We
sure.
are now.
Okay. Sure. So yeah, Dr. Magnolis looks up at you and he's like, Hey guys. How you doing? Welcome back. Hey.
I'm just gonna get real close and just be like really quiet. Like, hey Shale, what's up? How are you doing? Did you have a good summer?
Dr. Shale, but yeah, it was great.
Cool.
Didn't get my doctorate for nothing, Lemon.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hi guys, this is Dr. Magnolis. They're pretty cool.
I know my students, Lemon. You're good. Yeah, hey Avery, hey Lucent. How you guys good? You good?
Excellent.
Lovely.
How was your summer?
It was great. Went to see family in the forest. It's real nice. You all good? How's your dad, Avery? He good?
Oh, he's succeeding as always in every
Great.
sense.
Great. What can I do for you guys? Class is until tomorrow, but I can answer any questions you got for me.
So I was thinking instead of trying to make a new potion this year, considering last year.
You know what? Failure's just another way of learning, Lemon. You're learning.
Thank you.
But
I made bean milk.
But what? Yeah, love it. We'll talk later. What question do you have?
Can I maybe do a different focal project this year that's something that is less explosive?
Like a healing potion?
Well, I was more thinking like a truth potion, but like a knowledge bomb. But instead of like a knowledge bomb, I was thinking something maybe more like a paper.
You want to make a paper potion? Like you turn into a paper? Because we got that. We're learning that this year. Turning you into paper, turning you into crystals, turning you into trees.
Can I be a book?
I mean, you can be whatever you want, Lemon.
So cool. Okay.
Oh,
I like that.
Back to the task.
We should do that.
Yeah, back to the task, Lemon.
I'm excited for that. That's going to be really great. I'm super excited. But we were thinking about this whole like truth serum thing, which is actually just knowledge that we're sharing with the little tykes, because you know how they can get really excitable.
Yeah.
I mean, like I can get really excitable, but they can get really excitable. Anyway, so what we were thinking is to like maybe make them less excitable, get them kind of like chill and like ease into it. And the way that we ease into them is to like tell them that, you know, the mysteries are not real, because like now everyone's like they're totally real, and I mean that's a big no-no.
You guys don't need a potion to tell them it's not real. You just tell them. Headmistress already told them. It's good. They'll find out. We're all here to learn. You don't need a potion for that.
Okay, but like, what if one of the mysteries is a potion?
I mean, I've been teaching at this school for a long time. I kind of can't die, so I think I might be here forever. So,
I mean, unless you have tenure.
I mean, I got 11 year. Yeah.
Hey.
But I mean, I think if one of the mysteries was a potion, I would have known by now. And you heard what the headmistress said. It's just a rumor. You gotta let those first years they're excitable. You know they're excitable. But when you're talking about making them less excitable, that sounds like, you know, chemical, like depressants, and I'm not really into that. So just let them be excitable. They're babies. They're 11. You were once that age. It's fine.
I'm an adult now, but thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's just gonna kind of stare back at her friends like,
Well, it was great seeing you, Dr. Magnolis.
You
We're going to
too. Yeah.
you have a wonderful rest of your dinner.
Blessed be.
Bye, Dr. Jail.
Bye. See you tomorrow in class.
See ya.
As they get
went
back
really
to the
well.
table, that was a resounding success. A potion, Lemon? A potion?
Hey,
Become
hey,
a book,
look,
Lemon.
books are cool, man. What's
No,
your
I
problem?
get the books are cool.
Okay, all right. I'm
So,
Just saying.
just saying, one of you went up to a teacher and then three of you went up to a teacher. Headmistress is getting suspicious.
Oh,
gonna
totally.
go talk to the headmistress.
You're talking to the headmistress.
I'm
Okay.
gonna go straight to the headmistress.
Love that. Love that for you guys.
While Avery walks
Oh
over
my
there,
gosh.
just kind of like look at Lemon and be like, "Listen, the last potion you made turned me orange. A
It's
truth
like
serum.
like an apricot. Kind of like it's a little bit more
No.
milky, but like
It was orange. It was orange lemon.
I
So
think I know
I'm
the
just-
colors of my fruits. Okay.
I'm just saying. A truth serum from you is a very intimidating prospect. If you work on that this year, can we get a notice letting us know what part of the building you're doing that in?
Okay. So like you can't so this is like really complicated, but like TLDR, you can't really make like a true truth serum because of one, like it's not even like an ethics thing, it's more like actually like the chemistry that when it breaks down, the you know the brain waves don't really work with it and the chemicals blah 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 blah. Basically it's like a super stimulant, something that like even I can't take. Like the amount of stimulation that your brain would need to have could like I don't know, you could probably have what's the equivalent of a brain attack? Like it's a brain attack, but it's like a heart attack. But for your-
Stroke?
I think
A
so.
stroke?
I think that's what happens instead.
Okay. Listen, just anytime you go to touch
make
anything that looks
I can work on something to make a mostly truth potion.
why don't we just
It's like the
I just-
approximate truth. Like an approximation of like all knowledge, but like just truth and like kind of true.
what I'm saying is let me know what part of the building you're in when you make these decisions so I can stay at least 500 yards back. Okay?
It might need to be more than that if we're doing that one specifically. That's why I probably wouldn't do it in a building, because that force would probably be too much for a building.
You just
Unless the building didn't have a
you're
roof.
just a you are a treat. Oh, anyway, it just starts just casually just like sipping this drink, but like by a lot more and wishing it was stronger. Like,
All right, Rachel, I see in the chat, Tidorf is talking about a lemon potion. I'm gonna figure out what a lemon potion is by the end of this.
Yeah, well,
Not the episode, by the end of this season.
Appalachia says you're turning very Walter White, so please don't break bad.
I've never
my school.
seen that show. I have no idea what we're talking about.
God.
So Avery, you are walking up to Headmistress Barrows.
I am walking out to Headmistress Barrows. Headmistress, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Oh, excellent. I am very excited for my last year. As you probably saw, I signed up for many extracurriculars and all of the top classes that I can. But I had a proposition.
Did you know? I see you've been. One of your cohorts was talking to Forrest and the other two, Dr. Magnolis.
Oh, you say cohorts like we're planning something devious. You know me.
I do know you, but I also know Lemon.
11 is an entirely different story. I am here on behalf of the pursuit of knowledge. As you have addressed, the mysteries thing is a bit of a problem. It has been a persistent problem since we began here. I know my sisters have talked about it at length. Well, not much at length. You know them. They were very studious. However, we were talking, and as we walked into dinner today, there were just a bunch of little first years, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and just being encouraged to check out these untrue mysteries. And as you said, it does lead to some not great things, rule breaking, people getting hurt. It's a very dangerous process, and we don't want that. So, I guess as just a little bit of extra learning, instead of maybe going down a magical route, we could go a little bit more traditional. And I was thinking a research paper about why and how the mysteries are just untrue, hoping to discourage future generations here at Zoryce Academy.
Can I ask, is Avery on the sports team as part of the extracurriculars?
Let's see.
I would love it if the answer is yes, as the storyteller, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay, sorry. My fight is D20, but my flight is a D8, and then my brawn is D6. So I don't know if it would be very
I would probably be on the sports.
well for me to be on the sports team. I don't think I would excel at it, and if I wouldn't do it.
So I can tell you that there is not a lot of you're on your sports team. Yeah. So yeah. I will tell you, you really only need flight and charm.
Oh, okay.
You'll need a little bit of brawn, but it's mostly flight and charm.
I will do it because I'm skilled in charm, and I'm also very competitive, so why not?
Cool. So Headmistress Sparrows kind of regards you for a moment and then leads forward and says, "Let me get this straight. In the midst of your studies, your extracurriculars, both academic and otherwise, practicing for Yickety is the sport, you want to be given permission to be out of your dorm room after hours to chase down these mysteries that don't exist."
Well, I wouldn't say we're chasing down the mysteries. It's more like doing research, and just if there's no evidence that they exist, it shouldn't take too much of our time. And then we can just nip it in the bud, and future children here don't have to get hurt and hazed into frolicking about after hours.
Tell me, Avery, you are aware that there are some non-magical folk that believe this earth is flat, yes?
I was not aware, and that is fascinating.
Yes. And despite the abundance of evidence that proves otherwise, do you think those people change their minds?
I'm guessing a no here.
No. Because sometimes people just want to believe what they want to believe. All I can do is make sure that they are not breaking rules.
Right, but wouldn't it look amazing on my record?
Your record is fine. I understand your father's issue. Your father's issues are his own issues. Your record is exemplary. You don't need extra credit. And frankly, this is not the first time that this has been attempted. Your grandmother actually attempted it during her school days.
Oh,
But there are no leads to track down because it is just a rumor. A rumor started because someone was bored and wanted to make things interesting. I understand where you're coming from, and I understand your drive, but my answer is no.
You're absolutely right. I'm so sorry for bothering you.
You're fine.
Thank you, headmistress.
Thank you.
Avery runs over to the table. I need to get my grandmother's diary.
Go get it.
It's at home. So I just that little thing, but I'm sure one of my sisters can owl it to me. We'll figure it out. She said no, but apparently Grandmother Rhodes also looked into the mysteries and disproving them. It just must be run in the family.
So what I'm hearing is you're going to have to bribe one of your lovely siblings to owl you a diary of your grandma. Do you? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It will not take much to bribe them. Something shiny. I don't know.
I've got lots of rocks.
We'll figure something out.
They're like really pretty rocks, okay? Your sisters don't like rocks. They're just weird. You have weird siblings.
They're like jewelry of rocks that are usually cut down and refined and shined.
I'm just saying. I could like tumble the rocks. You could just put them in a tumbler and just shiny.
Okay.
Well, if bribing them with, shiny rocks doesn't work, maybe you could do a glamour for one of them or something.
A what? Sorry, you broke up.
Like a glamour.
Might be onto something. You find your shiniest rock lemon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know. Well, if they found it, one of my sisters was missing a necklace.
Got a hot glue gun. And like literally, like it's like she pulls it out of her back pocket.
Holstered.
I got a hot glue gun. Like we can make this work.
Oh my god!
Like the wind.
I love that.
Beautiful. We'll make something work.
Works for me. And then, maybe we write the paper anyway, and it just be for us. I mean, if we submit it for extra credit, then it gets submitted. And we did it all in our own time, followed all the rules to the best of their knowledge. And I mean, what they don't know won't kill them.
An entire wing of the castle. It's like everybody wins, okay? It's fine.
Let's not cause any more property damage, please.
We're not. That's why we're doing this. Right?
Yeah,
that's why we're doing this, right?
Bad.
I said I was sorry.
We believe you. I just, the teachers, they're still sweeping up some of that mess sometimes. Little everywhere.
Again, on the bright side, nothing was in the wall. No asbestos.
Magical asbestos.
No magical asbestos.
Or chalices.
Or chalices.
I'm just saying, I'm convinced. Convinced Dr. Forrest over there, and
Forrest is not a doctor. Forrest is Forrest.
Oh no, I'm just calling him Dr. Forrest.
Dr. Forrest.
Dr. Forrest, because, well, he certainly remedies himself.
Yeah, more than one of our teachers here do. Avery is writing a letter, like, as they speak, like, has pulled out
Mm-hmm.
parchment and whatnot, and is writing and everything.
Are you're writing down notes, or are you writing to your sisters?
Oh, writing to my sisters.
Okay. So you're trying to convince them to
send me grandmother's diary.
Okay. You tell me, do you think you'll need to roll for this? It's gonna be a flat charm roll.
Well, because I'm skilled in charm,
You are.
then I can add a +3.
You can. You also have 2 adversity tokens.
Oh, true.
And as a storyteller note, adversity tokens are things that you get when you fail a roll, and you can add it to your roll if you need to get up to your difficulty.
Honestly, from like as much as I want to succeed, as from a narrative perspective, I don't think that my sisters love me that much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and roll.
Okay, so you are rolling your D12. I'm going to say you need a difficulty of, your sisters are jerks, so I'm going to say a difficulty of 8.
Okay, and then I can add +3 to that.
Mm-hmm.
That was not a roll, I dropped it.
It's fine.
That is a 10.
Okay.
Yeah, like wit +3.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get extra if I manage to glamour a pretty rock?
Go ahead and just roll your D4 for magic. Let's see what you add to that.
3.
Okay, yeah.
Yay.
So is Lemon crafting this necklace as Avery is writing?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There's some rocks, and like she also pulls out like this like slab of like, it's a square, and it almost looks like a window pane until she breaks it and starts putting it into smaller pieces, and it's like really nice rock candy.
Yep. I'm gonna need a charm roll from you as well, because you're magically making something.
I'm magically making things.
That's your D8. You roll with a your D4 as well, because it's magic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say you need a difficulty of 5.
5.
Oh,
5
on the
exactly.
dot. Yep.
Love it. So yeah, you're making this, and it looks pretty damn good.
Maybe you have a side business in jewelry making.
Costume jewelry. Can do. Just don't lick it. Then it'll melt.
Great note. Avery will wrap the make like a little like kind of like envelope thing with the note, the parchment, and the necklace is inside, and then we'll like go over that again and put a wax seal on it, kind of just like cools it a little bit, and then she'll hand it to Quinn and just like run to the owlery as fast as you can.
So as a note, letters, you basically all know the enchantment for sending off letters. We don't use owls as messengers because they are actually a very slow bird.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Just kind of going off of my like magic knowledge.
So I'm not going to make you roll for this because it's something you guys have been doing for years and years and years. You do the little enchantment to make the letter as sentient as a letter can be, and basically turn it into a homing pigeon, and it goes off to your home, to its intended recipient.
Love that. That's even better. Never mind. Poof. It goes.
So you do that, and dinner winds down, and you all go back to your common rooms. You bed down for the night. You have this plan to get Avery's grandmother's journal, and the next morning you all meet up for homeroom. You're technically in different years, but I'm hand waving it because you guys are a study group and homeroom it's homeroom. So what teacher do you want to have for your homeroom class?
Ew.
You love Dr. Magnolis.
Dude, I love Dr. Magnolis. They
Of
are the
course you
shit.
do.
That would make
They are
sense why
the
all three of
bomb.
us
Like,
would have walked
they are
up
my
to Dr.
everything right
Magnolis.
now.
True.
That's why we all walked up to Dr. Magnolis.
Yeah.
Dr. Magnolis is
teacher.
best.
Like, they're the best. Just hands down the best. Also, they're the ones most likely to just ignore Lemon.
So
It's just like, oh, Lemon's just being Lemon.
are y'all having homeroom with Dr. Magnolis?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Yes.
Okay. So you are in the potions classroom. There is one wall that still has a giant crack in it that they will eventually get around to repairing, but for the most part, the stones are back to where they used to be. And Dr. Magnolis standing in front of the teacher's cauldron, and the multicolored student robes are there of the different houses because it's homeroom. And he smiles, his placid smile. He's like, "Morning, guys. Welcome, homeroom. New year." So apparently, and he kind of looks at your trio, there were some students asking about the 7 mysteries. Headmistress told me that I gotta tell you again that you can't follow them, and it's not real, guys. Like, I get it, we're in a world of magic, but you gotta stop telling the little first years about it. It's not good for them. They're very impressionable. You were that age once, and y'all know what kind of mess you guys got into, so just be cool and just stop, right? Now, before we get into class, there's going to be a mid-year trip. Y'all get to sign up for it, which is just so exciting. Very excited for you guys. So you have 3 options. There's the National Institute of Magical Curiosities, which you guys would know as it's a museum. It's a very big museum, very famous, very well hidden from non-magical people. And then you have a trip to Thorn Hollow Village. And we all know, for you guys, it's going to be great. Because you guys know, Thorn Hollow Village is a magical village. And there are pubs like the Bronze Avocado or the Last Chupacabra. And they have the Secret Ingredient Patissier and Cafe. They also have the Colors of Magic Tattoo Parlor. And 2 of you, being 18 years old, are at the legal age to get tattoos.
Ooh.
And then last but not least, which I'm going to be chaperoning on, is camping at Solitude Campgrounds. So here, have the sign up and just go with your heart, man. So, which weekend trip will you guys be going?
Ooh,
I want
all
to
right.
tattoo.
So I know what kind of fun to throw at you.
Hey, do you guys think I could, like, maybe pass off as older to get a tattoo? Like, that would be super cool.
Since we all look fairly young, I do think some form of identification is going to be needed. Could you charm that?
I'm gonna need to do research.
The museum, though. I mean, if we're gonna find information on disproving any possible mysteries.
I will say it's not a research museum. It's kind of like just magical artifacts. Yeah.
I do like artifacts. Purely.
I mean,
Or
alternatively, we could go hang out in a forest for an entire evening. Hey, maybe
Absolutely
we'll
not.
find that thing that bit your maybe we'll find the thing that bit your sister's ex-boyfriend. Is this an ex?
Oh no, they are absolutely not dating anymore. He was a moron.
Yeah. Well,
Richard would not
maybe we
allow
can
him into
find.
this
Fair enough. I mean, that's camping is an option. Personally, as down as I am for a weekend of debauchery, I really have to pass this year. So,
Really?
uh,
A weekend away, from studies, possible fun.
kind of feeling
for
the
once?
museum. I'm kind of feeling the museum.
Are you feeling the museum because it's the safest?
I'm feeling the museum because having fun kind of seems a bit. You know what? No, never mind. Never mind. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You guys just pick, and it'll be fine.
It sounds like she wants to go to the museum.
As much. I don't know. I feel like I think you need a weekend away. And honestly, so do I.
Yeah, if you go home with a tattoo, that'll be fun. Richard will love that.
Oh, well, if I get a tattoo, it would not be anywhere he can see. For at least the next millennium.
And I mean, we could try to
Sorry.
charm Lemon an ID.
Could. This is a hard decision. Do we have any insight from DM?
Sure. What do you guys want to know?
Are the magical tattoos like, okay, question. Are the tattoos just tattoos or are they magical tattoos? Like if I put a tattoo on my body, am I gonna have like different colors and shit?
So you can get standard tattoos or you can get magical tattoos.
I want a magical tattoo.
I want a magical tattoo really bad, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, that sounds awesome. I want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
It's almost like we like tattoos in real life.
Yeah. Also, you would know that there are certain alchemical compositions of inks that you could make the tattoo invisible at will.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice, that's nice.
And if I get my hands on some, maybe I can learn how to make some ink for other projects that we might need. All right, we're going.
I think it will be a great, relaxing experience for us.
Getting stabbed with 1,000 needles on repeat sounds really relaxing. I'm game.
So you guys are going to Thorn Hollow?
Let's go to Thorn Hollow.
Thank you so much. I was really hoping you'd get that. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this gift. Thank you so much.
You said
You guys
tattoos.
All you needed to sell us was tattoos.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Just wait until you guys get to Thorn Hollow. Thank you. Thank you so much
Well,
for giving this gift to
me
me.
the chance to go get a lemon shaped tramp stamp. So
yes.
See, I'm not putting my own name on my body. It's an image. It's the different, okay? It's classy. It's different.
Okay. So you fill in your names under the Thorn Hollow trip. Excuse me. And you hand it back in. And once all the forms have been given back to them, Dr. Magnolias looks at you, says, all right, great. Well, since it's the first day, we're just going to do a quick refresher course. So we're just going to make a laughing potion, y'all. So go ahead, get your ingredients, and the most raucous laughter is going to win best potion of the day. So,
I absolutely
uh-huh, so for potions, you can either roll your charm or your grit. Remember, this is magic roll, so you can add a d4. And collectively, you are going to need to hit a difficulty of 24.
And so we roll at the d4, and then I add my mod at the bottom.
So you roll your dice, you roll your d4, and then you add your magical mod.
Ooh.
So I have grit with a modifier of +1 and then charm.
Okay, so sorry, you were only rolling one of those. You can either choose your grit or your charm. Whatever is highest.
We gonna roll grit. We're gonna do 15.
it. 15. Let me go to 15.
All right.
I got 11.
I got an 8.
All right. So you are collectively 10 over the requested difficulty. So I get to take over now.
Oh no. Oh wait.
So let's just see.
No. Oh wait. We talked about
Forgot
this.
about that. Hey Rachel, maybe explain why it's bad to just be good.
So in the Kids on Brooms system, the effect of magic gets exponentially greater or worse the more you roll or the more you fail. So within a difficulty of 5, or within a number 5 of the difficulty, the player gets to narrate, but 5 or more, I take over. And it just gets greater. So I'm just gonna roll real quick to see how other class. Oh, so y'all have the best potion. And you don't really feel anything at first. But then Lucin starts to giggle. And then Avery starts as well. And then Lemon joins in. And it just keeps building and building. And you start going into these peals of laughter. And it just gets so much that your sides start to hurt and tears are starting to like come down your face. But you can't stop.
Oh no.
And the laughter of the other students started to die down, and they're kind of returning back to normal, and you're still going.
No.
Lemon probably has a white handkerchief that she just waves at Dr. Magnolia. She's like, this, yep, help.
Yeah, and Dr. Magnolis just kind of like snaps in your direction. He's like, you feel it slowly leaving. It's like, I really liked that effort you put in there. You know, you guys are just so enthusiastic about your schooling, and I respect that about you. So yeah, good job, you guys. Good job. Maybe go a little bit less on the dried eye of Newt. Maybe just a little less next time.
Yeah, we'll make a note. Yep.
If we crunch it and use a smaller amount, it's as if we used the same amount, smaller. So if we cut that in half.
Lemon, look at my wall.
I will just use a smaller amount next time.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah.
I mean, the wall looks great, though. You guys did a great job putting it back together.
Still got a crack in it, but appreciate the
At
niceties.
At least it's there.
I'm thinking we should like fill it with gold. So like apparently there's like in this country, like over in Japan, like I know we have like the sister school there,
Yeah.
and like we're not doing transfers this year,
Yeah.
but like I was just saying, like over there, like if you like want to fix something, they're like they put gold in the bricks, so
making
it's like
it beautiful out of
super
something
cool.
broken.
I think that would be great.
No.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
No, but I appreciate the thought. We're just gonna put mortar in there.
That's less exciting.
It's fine.
Gold is expensive, even though I'm pretty sure we can make gold out of things. Alchemy and anyway.
You just
That class is discontinued, Lucinda. You can't harp on us to bring it back. We're not gonna.
I'm gonna harp until I die.
I know that, and I appreciate about you. I respect that about you. But our answer is still gonna be no.
Yeah.
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 Well, great first lesson back.
Appreciate it. You did good, kid. You did good. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, y'all are done. First class. If y'all want to like go take a break, grab a snack, go for it.
Snack. I need a new snack.
I'm gonna go read a book now. Bye, guys.
Bye. Okay. So that reminds me. The Namis have like just this cool thing. It's like coffee and chocolate bar put together is caffeinated chocolate. It's like super dope.
Right. Please don't make anything else that could possibly give somebody a stroke.
That's like
Or turn them orange.
the amount of ingredients that takes, they won't let me have any kind of close access to whatsoever. So we're fine.
Good.
As long as we're good. Okay, so at least this one's well so far. Okay.
Everyone still has their limbs. There's no damage to the wall.
I mean, it's still damaged, but you're right.
There is no damage to the wall. I'm gonna try to glamour it.
Like Dr. Magnolus just like waves it away. He's like, "Nah, you ain't doing that. Not in my class right now."
Stop looking at the wall.
When we do, is there like a respective time that we'll get mail in?
I will say we will save that for next episode.
Well,
Just
I
'cause
wasn't
it-
sure how close to the end we were getting.
Yeah, we are getting close to the end, but it also is good because it plays into what I have in store for you next episode. So, are there any final things that you want to do on school grounds before we wrap this up?
Not particularly. I think so.
No?
So after classes and everything would have been wrapped up and like we continue setting up our little spaces, I would have brought that picture with me of my dad that I took down. And I just I don't like the frame that it's in. So I'm going to take the picture out of the frame.
Okay.
And I want to examine it.
Examine the frame or examine the portrait?
The picture. Like, see, maybe if there's, like, anything on it anywhere at all that could be, like, where to put it in the room, that sort of thing. See, like, how to do that. Basically, what I'm looking to do here is, try to make it to where other people don't really see the picture as being very obvious.
What you can do is you can hang it and then glamour it so only you can see it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I want to do that because
So
that's trauma, and I want to see how this roll actually goes for me. And I only have it's a D4, so.
Actually, I'm gonna make you roll a grit. I'm gonna have
Oh.
you roll grit, not charm, for this one.
Okay.
So your grit is your D10.
And +1 modifier.
+1 modifier. I'm gonna say your difficulty. I'm gonna make this easy for you. Your difficulty is 6.
Cool. Well, good news, Blues. I got a 9. I got 10.
Okay. All right. So yeah. Tell me what you. Where do you hang it over your bed? What do you do with it?
Oh no! So I'm gonna hang it on a wall and just glamour it away, and the only people who can see it is me. And what I want to do is I want to take and behind that photo, I'm gonna start like a small piece of parchment. I'm gonna keep track of anything that we discover. So any notes that need to be made about the day, things that we might find about, some kind of mysteries. I'm going to keep a running record that I hide behind that photo of my dad.
Okay. Very nice. I like it. I can make use of that. Anyone else? I know we said no. Has anything popped up? I see the thinking face.
What's Lemon thinking?
What is Lemon thinking?
Lemon is sending a letter.
Okay. To whom?
And it's not just a letter. Lemon is filling out a form and stuffing some money into an envelope. And she is ordering some not top quality, because she can't afford that, but some nicer nicer costume jewelry stones and bedazzled beads.
Okay.
And a little bit more stronger craft things.
All right. Okay. Gonna make a little business at school.
Hey, sometimes you need a little bit of this, sometimes you need a little bit of that, and I find things, and then I make them better.
You do.
Yes.
You very much so do. All right. So first episode is down. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Mysteries at Zoryce Academy. Very much so appreciate it. You guys for tuning in. Please tune in to the other shows here on TTRPG Theater. Make sure to subscribe to this channel, to our YouTube channel. Please join our Discord, and also support these guys in their other shows and on their Instagrams, because that's nice. So I will see you guys next week as the Space Elf, but 2 weeks from now, we will be here for episode 2. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.